is enough said.
Happy Monday, Heat Nation. Your boy Ernest here, back with another Miami Heat Talk video. Hope you guys had a great weekend. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. You know the drill. We just hit 6,000 subscribers. Thank you guys so much for the support. Now that we got that out the way, please join me as we go on another Miami Heat Talk adventure. Guys, I'm sure you can tell right now, voice is not really there. I do apologize for not getting a video yesterday. Oh man, I was on the road. My last video on Saturday, once I was done with that video and I posted it for you guys, I hit on the road. I've been wrestling the last 2 days. I actually wrestled yesterday. For those of you that have recently watched WWE, I wrestled Matt Riddle, the bro. Incredible match last night. I'll leave a link in the description for you guys because they actually did post it yesterday. It was a great match. Such an honor. Matt Riddle, we got to do it again. Anyways, back to what you guys are here for, Miami Heat basketball. Because this episode today, you guys, I want to talk about something that's been fluttering the last couple days with good reason. I want to talk about Jrue Holiday potentially being an option for the Miami Heat this offseason. And the reason why we're talking about Jrue Holiday is because we understand what's going on with the Boston Celtics. Once Jason Tatum tore his Achilles on the second round of the playoffs, you kind of knew the writing was on the wall. Simply because with Jason Tatum out with a torn Achilles, potentially out for about a year, that means he's going to miss next season. And Boston Celtics payroll is ridiculous. Guys, the Boston Celtics right now payroll is over $250 million for the season with their current contracts. And under the new CBA law, with the new second apron, they're basically paying over $500 million in penalties. For a team next season, that's probably not going to potentially even get out of the first round. Now look, not knocking the Boston Celtics. You have a lot of good players on the team currently, even without Jason Tatum. You have Jaylen Brown, you have Jrue Holiday, like I mentioned, Derek White, you got Porzingis, Sam Hauser. They have a lot of good players on this team. But the only reason why Boston would have continued with this roster, you guys, and I'm pulling up their payroll right now, the only reason why they would have continued with this roster is if they would have won another NBA championship or made it to the NBA Finals. They didn't go there, obviously, and now with Jason Tatum out, they're stuck. They're stuck. They're going to have to retool around Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. They're going to have to eat crap next season, and then they're going to have to figure it out. But then you have a few contracts to figure out as well. You know, Porzingis is going to be an expiring contract, so that's going to be movable. Derek White just signed a really big extension, but you might want to keep him building with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. That's why Jrue Holiday is the one that is most likely the most movable part. And there was a lot of recent reports that came up saying that Jrue Holiday is the one that they're looking to let go over Derek White. You know, they're looking to move Jrue Holiday to a potential contender. And then you look, there have been recent reports where the Miami Heat may have interest with Jrue Holiday, and when you think about it and you look at it on paper, it makes a lot of sense. Jrue Holiday and the Miami Heat is a great mix. Jrue Holiday gives the Miami Heat what they need. A defensive-minded point guard. Imagine having a team with Jrue Holiday and Davion Mitchell as your starting and backup point guards. That's incredible. Jrue Holiday is one of the best perimeter defenders in the NBA. This would alleviate and help Tyler Hero as far as his liabilities defensively sometimes. You know, now that you have a team with Kel'el Ware, Bam Adebayo, Jrue Holiday, you know, defensively, that's a nightmare for other teams. Not only are you having one of the best interior defenders in Bam Adebayo, but also one of the best perimeter defenders in Jrue Holiday. Sprinkle some Kel'el Ware out there. This is nice. So I do see the positives. However, I know some people have been for this. Not really me. And I'm going to tell y'all why, for a few reasons. I mean, first off, numbers-wise, Jrue Holiday has 3 more years left in his contract. The fourth year, the third year is a player option in 2028, which he'll most likely opt in. Why? Because he's 34 years old right now. Jrue Holiday, by the end of that contract, will be about 37. This season, he averaged 11 points a game, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 35% from the three-point line, 44% from the field, 90% from the free throw line. Played only 62 games. Numbers dipped during the playoffs. With the amount of money that he's making, I get why you would like to add him. I understand why Jrue Holiday would be a nice piece next to Bam and Tyler. I get it. But it doesn't really solve the problem that you have. The problem on this team is that offensively, when teams shut down Tyler, there's no one else consistently that can help you. That's the reason why a Kevin Durant may be a better option. That's the reason why you're looking at a Giannis Antetokounmpo. That's the reason why when you're looking at another player to add to this team, it's not a guy like Jrue Holiday. It's a guy like Trae Young. It's a guy like Anthony Edwards, Giannis, that player that gets you over the next step. Because Bam and Tyler can lead a Miami Heat team to the playoffs. We know that. But at best, they're a play-in team that's going to lose in the first round. Might surprise you and win a game or two. Didn't happen this year. But if you trade for a guy like Jrue Holiday, you're going to have to give up a package surrounding Duncan Robinson, which makes sense because Boston right now is looking to shed numbers. Duncan Robinson's contract, who's expiring, is also not fully guaranteed. So if they're looking to shed some numbers right now, that makes sense. You also have to include a young asset, maybe like a Jaime Jaquez and Nikola Jovic, most likely a draft pick also because of what Boston had to give up. So I understand that's what it would take. To do that may not make the perfect sense. Because if you put Jrue Holiday on a team with Bam Adebayo and Tyler Hero, yeah, that's a better team. I will say that. That's a better team. The trade package isn't really that bad if it's Duncan, Jaime Jaquez, first-round draft pick. Maybe Boston's so desperate that they're just looking for cap relief. They're like, just give us Duncan and a draft pick. Doubt it, but you got to sweeten it. Maybe that's why you include a young asset like a Jaime Jaquez, a Nikola Jovic. So when Jason Tatum does come back, you have something to build on with Tatum, White, Brown. You know, that's an idea as well. So I don't think trading for Jrue Holiday answers the needs that we have. Unless you're trying to make a trade, guys, where it's including someone else and getting Jrue Holiday. So like if you're trading for Jrue Holiday, if you're convincing Boston or you're speaking with Boston and the point is to shed flexibility and get draft capital, and you send Jaime Jaquez, Duncan Robinson and a first round pick to Boston for Jrue Holiday, a future first round pick, and then you talk with Phoenix and you're able to get a deal made for Kevin Durant, where you're looking to do one of those packages I've mentioned in recent videos. Maybe like an Andrew Wiggins, Nikola Jovic, hopefully not Kel'el Ware, but include 2 future first-round draft picks. Maybe a Pelle Larson. Now you can get Kevin Durant, Tyler Hero, Bam Adebayo, Jrue Holiday. See, that would make sense if you're getting another player and a Jrue Holiday. But the chances of the Miami Heat doing something like that, you guys, slim. They have the assets to do it. They do have the assets to make 2 separate trades. I will say that. You have 3 tradable first-round draft picks, 4 young assets, 3 expiring contracts in Andrew Wiggins, Terry Rozier, and Duncan Robinson. So technically, they can make it work. The likelihood of it happening, rare. So Heat Nation, I want to hear from you. What do you guys think of Jrue Holiday on this team? Maybe you think a little bit better. Sell me on it. I mean, I like it. I don't hate it. But is that really the trade that you make to get you to the next level? Sure. But you also have to be trading for someone else, because Jrue Holiday doesn't solve the problem that you have. You're a good defensive team. This team is good defensively. It's just offensively, at certain moments of the game, this team sucks ass. There's just no other way of saying it. Because all teams do is just bully Tyler Hero, and they tell everyone else, beat us, which is getting hard. So let me know what you think, Heat Nation. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, because we're on the push to 7,000 subscribers. Appreciate y'all so much. Until next time, your boy Ernest out, and that is enough said.